You know, some people age like a fine wine, and some people age like a can of special brew left on a hot windowsill. Whichever one you are, get ready to talk about those pesky little emotions of yours, because it's time for another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. Please welcome your host, Sam Lake. It was me the whole time. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings, the show where me and a wonderful guest enjoy a beverage of their choice and talk about something they're passionate about and see how it connects to their feelings. Before I introduce this week's guest, who is sat on the sofa next to me in full shot of the camera, and you can definitely see him.
Hi.
Just do that. A big thank you to all of our Patreons. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you'd like to become an official Rosé slut and have your name pop up somewhere on the screen here, what if it was between my legs? That would be fun. Inappropriate? We'd have to ask their consent first. If you'd like to join and get access to all of our bonus content, there'll be a link in the description below. So click that and become a Rosé slut today for as little as £3 a month.
Whoa.
I know. Well, without further ado, let's introduce this week's guest. It's the lovely Ben Pope.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. A last name Pope.
Yeah.
That's something, eh?
Particularly in the modern.
Have you had a lot of Google alerts?
It's been a period. Everyone loves to send me reels about it.
Yeah.
And any headlines, I get a lot of the equivalent of newspaper clippings.
Yes.
From forgotten relatives.
What
I get a lot of.
What was this Pope's name?
So the one that just died.
Yeah.
Francis.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Don't watch ahead. And then the new one they haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
We're
still
locked away.
Is it judges' houses?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then we're gonna get yeah.
And then they decide on a name because they obviously have a name already, but then they decide on their Pope name.
I don't think I knew that the Pope has a drag name.
Yeah, essentially, yes. Yeah. And then also special robes as well. So it is very drag adjacent.
That's very fun. Very slay.
Yeah. It's just honestly, the whole Vatican situation is.
It gives it's not Catholic, it's Catholic.
Yeah.
You know, with with Kiwi acute at the end.
Yes, Romanesque Catholic.
Yeah.
I love that.
How are you? It's been a while.
Yes.
We started stand-upping at similar times?
I think roughly similar.
times.
Yeah. You were in a kind of cohort with the Olgas of the world.
The Olgas of the world.
And
it was me and an assortment of Olgas.
Yes.
And I could only find one. So.
And huge. And
you must be one of maybe 40, 50 people who came to do Joy Multiplication when it was a mixed bill lineup show.
Yeah.
Yes. You'd have had your face on the very lovely posters that Hugh made on MS Paint.
It was very exciting because for me, I was doing a lot of, at the time, I'd just come to London. And maybe this was maybe 2 years into doing stand-up, and I've been doing the open mic circuit, and a horrible atomized experience for anyone who's ever thinking of doing it. Sort of peopled by some of the most medically unwell humans that London has to offer.
Name 6 of them.
I probably could. But it was so nice doing you guys' your night because it was suddenly these people are good and they're also fun.
Relatively stable.
Yes.
Yeah. Very few issues.
Yeah. And if you did have issues, they were all tessellated quite nicely with each other's. It just seemed like a really good friend group, I thought. I was this is, look, the guys.
Still friends to this day.
Yeah. It's a glorious.
You staying in my spare room next week?
By choice or
I'm not forcing him to.
Yeah, you gotta ask,
What's new with you then? You're up here. You've been at Monkey Barrel all weekend.
I've been at Monkey Barrel all week since Wednesday.
Week.
I've been ploughing away.
You did the Wednesday. You did the Thursday.
Yeah.
You did the Friday.
You'll never guess what's next.
Stop it. Did you do Saturday? You cheeky little cunt. Don't tell me you're going to do the Sunday as well.
I'm absolutely going in for
flip the table.
I'm doing the 7 and the 9 tonight. It's been great. I love it. I have to say, it's so nice to do gigs in the same room this many days in a row because you get used to it and you get comfortable and then you get better, just like noticeably.
Yeah,
you know,
it's one of the things I like about doing a fringe run, where if you have a not great show, which we all have, then the next day you have to come. We do. I mean, like on the day, not like if you've written like a piece of work that's genuinely terrible. I mean, like if you've written a lovely show, but one day it doesn't like get the response you'd hope for.
Of course,
you have to come back in 24 hours and do it again.
You do,
and then that time it might be better, and then you go like,
exactly.
I don't have any trauma about this room now.
It's a beautiful like way of getting a kind of median average. You're like, it was all fine. Because
I want to get to the end of the fringe and say fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. You're going to be at the Fringe.
The Fringe, yeah.
The Fringe this year. What's your show called?
It's called The Cut. And it is not about the
circumcision.
It is about that actually. Yeah.
Is it actually?
It is, yeah. Last year I got circumcised.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much for taking it seriously. Yeah. No, it was a big decision, and it wasn't religious, and it wasn't like an emergency.
Right.
It was like this has been causing me minor difficulty for quite a long time.
Interesting.
Let's sort it out.
That is, I will come along. I would like to see it. The show?
Yep, just checking.
Yeah.
Not the, okay, yeah.
Well, I don't know what you have planned.
No, it does. It begins with me viciously windmilling. No.
You so rarely get those words said together.
How
would you describe the windmilling? Vicious, actually.
Really cruel.
Yeah.
quite eye-watering, actually. It's been quite a weird one because I'm trying to work out currently how to market it.
Yeah.
And as a show, because obviously like it's gonna be hard flyering people and being like, hi, would you like to see a show about my penis? Because honestly, most people are going to be like, oh no, I'm good.
We saw 2 shows about penises already today.
But, I mean, to be honest, that's it. It's like it's simultaneously like a bit outrageous for some people, and then other people will be like, yeah, okay, big deal.
Do you know what I would respect though if somebody handed me a flyer and said it's about his penis? Is that I'd be like, at least I've been told ahead of time.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't want a surprise penis in a show.
Yeah, that's very true.
I don't know if you've ever thought this, but I think at some point every male comedian has gone, do you know what would be really funny? Get my dick out.
Yeah. That was a real thing. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? There was a stratum of time, maybe, I don't know, 7 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like it was happening a lot.
You couldn't do an open mic, a gig in London without, I'd say, at least seeing a ball.
Yeah, there was a lot of like,
There was a guy, and I'm sorry if this turns out to be like a close friend or someone that we know or someone who listens. He would turn up to gigs in a big trench coat, and he was wearing like a wrestler mask balaclava thing, and he would sing a song about flashing, and then he would open the trench coat, and if it was like a place that had a bar, he would sit on the bar and sort of spread a bit. So it was never his intention to have the balls out, but a ball would inevitably just peek out the side.
Why? And that's like someone gone like, this would be a good way to spend my Tuesday evening.
Yeah. Oh, and it was a Tuesday.
And it was always a Tuesday.
It was always a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Write in if you want to guess who that person was.
I
can't remember their name.
No, this doesn't ring a bell for me, but it is exactly the sort of thing.
It's exactly that. Yeah.
So I'm that kind of thing. I'm like, I don't want people to think it's that. What it is really is more like the show is more like a funny set of stories about like the medical side of these things, and then talking about in general why I say most straight men particularly are so like scared about talking about their genitals in like a normal way,
right?
Because it's always about like, oh, it's so big, I'm a big boy, and it's do you know what I mean? It's always about like how strong and great and rigid and awesome you are, and actually no one like straight guys don't talk about like actual what sex is like what when something goes wrong or like all of these things. So I was like, I want to kind of like dig into that a little bit.
Okay.
And so it's more about like masculinity and things like that.
Well, hey, as all things tend to be about.
Hey. Every podcast is to come back to fucking masculinity, doesn't
But
it?
we're not like other podcasts.
I was gonna
Anyway,
say.
tell me why you're not taking the vaccine. I'm kidding. That sounds like it's going to be fun. So it's Ben Pope, The Cut.
The Cut, yes.
The Cut.
Exactly.
Go see The Cut.
Please,
Everyone have a little look at The Cut. Let's talk about your beverage, which I'm excited to try.
Sure.
You're bringing a tea. You're bringing a tea to us today.
Strong tea.
Lapsang Souchong.
That sounds about right.
Okay, close enough. There we go. Sometimes I don't even
go.
get the guest name right.
That isn't my name, just to be clear. That is
Ben Cardinal.
You've nailed it.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat.
Now, are you a tea drinker in general or just this one?
I'll drink most teas, I'd say.
Okay.
It's nice to have a repertoire. So that you can, diagnose them for how you're feeling and then...
Different teas for different moods.
Different times of day and all these things.
I love a peppermint before bed.
Well, this is it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't be going any stronger than a peppermint before bed.
You know what I've gone into a lot recently? If you're having vocal difficulties, a vocal zone tea... Everyone's had a lozenge, but a vocal zone tea?
I didn't know they did a tea.
Oh, they do. And it's delightful.
What flavour is it?
It doesn't... it's sort of like mildly floral, I'd say.
Okay.
But nothing particularly strong.
Mildly floral. I'm trying to get that in my mouth. Sorry, I don't know why I made eye contact. Just I said that. I'm so sorry, Sam. I'm so sorry.
Trying to get the taste in your mouth.
Yes, that's I can't. Let's not dwell on it.
Fair enough.
How was that?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Talk me through how you're feeling.
I'm just gonna have another sip, and I'll slurp good for the.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't the best one. I'm so sorry.
It's
everyone.
quite wet, that one.
Can I be honest?
You must.
You know when you open the cupboard under the sink?
Okay, yeah.
It has a touch of that to it.
Right.
And I'm not saying that means I'm not enjoying it. I actually sometimes love the smell of the cupboard under the sink.
You're like Sylvia Plath. You just like with the thing, just stick your head under there.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Not
will.
again, Sam. Come out of there.
My eyes do go into the back of my head and I just, a sniff of a liquid tab.
Yeah, so that's it. It's you think it's kind of like you're getting like a kind of medicinal kind of.
It's sending me back to a sort of like my youth, and I can't think why. It's smoky.
That's it.
I'm imagining I'm at a barbecue.
Yeah. Great. Well, classically, people say it's wood smoke. That's the thing.
Oh.
And then I always think it's quite like musky. It's quite kind of like
there is a musk,
or a must, but either of those. But it's very like I always think of it. It feels like something you should drink in a library. It's got a real kind of like old books vibe.
Oh, like because a book has a smell.
A book, again, depends what book, but yes.
The books do be smelling.
They do. That's something I'm always, I work in a bookshop when I'm not doing comedy, and I'm always amazed by, because when you spend all of your time in one room and you just don't, you kind of like phase out what something smells like. Customers come in the shop all the time, and like the first thing they say is, "Oh, that book smell." Oh, and
it is a thing, yeah.
Yeah, just people love it.
Same for cars. New car smells a thing.
Car smells, the whole thing. Yes, and it's just very like, I don't notice it anymore. But for some people, it's like a drug.
The aromaticness of it.
Yeah. It's all part of the experience.
So, is this your go-to tea, or would you have this for a particular situation?
This is something good to drink when I'm like doing emails or when I'm.
It's an admin tea.
It's an admin tea.
It's an admin tea.
Because it's studious enough to be like, come on, get on with it. I'd say it's a good one for the afternoon because you're not it's not caffeinated really, I don't think anyway. So you're not like going through the roof.
Okay.
And then also it's funky and weird enough to be like, oh, this is a treat.
It's really hitting all of the bases.
For me, yes. But I can understand if you feel differently. Do share it with the group.
Well, I mean, producer Claire, went out this morning to get the tea bags.
I know. Thank you, Claire.
Had a sniff, put the tea bags back down.
Was not pleased.
Brewed both these cups of tea. And then as soon as you got here, said, take the box with you.
Yeah. Get it out of my life.
So, but it's the kind of thing where I'll be like, if I'm offered one in the future, I'll be like, hey, I've dabbled.
Yeah.
We were all crazy kids once. I could do one again.
Yeah.
I could. It will go down a treat. I'll finish it.
Well, I've got 48 bags in my bag currently.
Oh,
so if you'd like any to take with you, you're very welcome.
How does it make you feel then when you? Because if you do it when you do admin, when you drink it, do you feel productive?
Yeah, I guess.
Does it settle you? How does it make you feel?
I like the idea. I think it's a bit transportative. So it's like because of the wood smokiness, it's like, oh, I'm not just at a table mashing out emails.
Yeah.
I'm actually in a wood-paneled room with a roaring fire.
Yeah.
And lots of leather-bound books, to quote Ron Burgundy or whatever his name is. Ron, what's his name?
From Anchorman.
From Anchorman, yeah.
Yeah, Ron Burgundy.
It is Ron Burgundy.
Yes.
Okay, God, for a second. Yeah, because there's that bit where he's like, I have many leather-bound books and all that. So, anyway, that's,
Yes.
I tell you. It's not good for a comedian to come out a much more successful and funny comedian. And just, do you know what I mean? You can picture this room.
Yes.
Very kind of like Cluedo room.
I would have gone with a log cabin.
A log cabin, equally great. Yes. Yeah. Roaring fire, a glass of whiskey, which I'm now realizing could have been a great drink for us, actually. Maybe
We've had whiskies before.
Okay, yeah.
We've had, it was like a posh one, wasn't it? Monkey shoulder.
Oh, really?
That's not posh. Didn't someone request a posh whiskey?
Wasn't that John Roberts?
I don't know.
Lagavulin.
Lagavulin.
Whoa, that's like really nice. From one of those islands up the thingy.
Well, we talked about bodies of water. Was it bodies of water?
My God.
I'm suddenly realising I don't remember any episode of this show, even though I've been on every single one.
Let's try and make this one memorable somehow. What I'm really realizing right now is that I could have been way more ambitious with the drink that I chose and how much the budget would stretch.
No, but do you know what? Nobody has really taken the piss.
Yeah, okay.
With the drink.
I could have been like pina colada.
We would have tried. The thing is, when we had Sakisa on, she asked for a rum punch.
Oh my goodness.
And we made her a rum punch that I think was culturally insensitive. Did we use fresh lime? No, we used lime cordial. She had quite an issue with that, as she should. So we would have tried to make a pina colada. It just might not have gone very well.
That's okay.
You may have had to chew it.
That sort of cheesy way that a pina colada has.
When me and my husband moved into our flat, we went to...
brag there, sorry. Husband and flat, come on. What are we talking about? Sorry, Kane.
I also successfully pre-ordered a Nintendo Switch 2. So
Get out of town.
So we went to J-Lu, John Lewis.
Okay.
And...
That's the worst one yet. That's topped it all off.
And they had, in the homeware section... I'm guessing nobody else calls it that from this reaction.
Not in this room, I'm guessing. Ooh, that's great.
Went to J-Lu.
Yes.
And then went into the homeware section. They had a cocktail shaker, and when you twist it, it reveals a different cocktail recipe.
Oh, that's cool.
So we had that in our flat. And then the weekend that we got married, and like my brother and my best friend had come to like have like a meal the night before. We made cocktails using it, and I thought the measurements were like you fill it up to this line of each thing, and they're not.
Oh no!
So I tried to make everyone a batch of pink ladies, and they were sort of like chunky. They were unwell ladies. They were pink because they were having cardiovascular issues. So it's good that you didn't choose a cocktail.
I think
that's
it's
what I'm saying.
Just as well. What goes in a pink lady? Oh, sorry. As I was saying, I was like, this is a bad idea.
If you don't know sugar tits, we can't teach you.
I was going to say, I've gone to the wrong podcast for that. What ingredients are there within?
In the cocktail that is colloquially known as a pink lady.
Yes.
Great question. Coconut milk.
Yeah, okay.
Grenadine.
Yeah. Already
I want to say it's vodka based, but I could be wrong. It might be gin or rum or tequila.
Okay.
Just any other spirit, basically.
Yes. Or Lagavulin, or just put it all in.
Some kind of mixer. I'm unsure of what. But then you shake it in the shaker, and then I think maybe you strain it, and maybe that's where I went wrong.
Yeah, because I'm thinking chunks. You're not going to want chunks in there.
You aren't. Rarely.
Do you want chunks?
Do you want a chunky beverage?
No, that feels like a soup, really, more than a...
Or a bubble tea, maybe, where it's like you sort of given the equipment to deal with the
that's
solids.
So true. Well, bubble tea blows my... Because it's one of those things where, like, I obviously generationally missed bubble tea.
It's never too late to start.
I'll get into it in my retirement.
Yeah.
No, I just it was never a thing. I think it just started like there being like regular high street shops after the point at which I was like,
I think there was
gonna go for that.
I think there were posh. So maybe posh is the wrong word. Very stylized tea shops that started springing up. And then I feel like bubble tea sort of started rising around the same time.
Right, yeah.
I'm thinking of like places like T2 or Etiquette.
Yes,
or little tea houses and stuff. I went to uni in Bath. So sometimes when someone was having a birthday or something, they would go to a tea house or something.
Got you.
And you have a proper tea ceremony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was a very lovely day out.
I'm probably really nice, but not like not the classic, uni experience. Is it? To be like, who brought the leaves and
tonight for breeze.
Do you have like little little sandwiches and things with it as well? Was it like
no? It wasn't like like a high tea afternoon tea kind of thing. No. It was just the tea.
Wow.
And it was sort of like this, like a spiritual tea ceremony.
Oh my goodness!
Sort of done with like rituals and stuff.
Oh wow! Oh, like really? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
how like they do stuff with matcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a ceremonial thing.
Man, this is a whole other world.
It's a very classy episode so far.
I'm blown away by this stuff.
The last two guests we had in couldn't stop them from talking about anal.
Oh, that's not me, man. I'm sorry.
No.
Do you need that for the podcast?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't.
Because I don't have many opinions on it, honestly. It sounds...
It's an option.
Great. Yeah.
If you want it.
Sure.
As in, like, for other... I'm not offering that right now.
No, I was going to say.
But if you join us for the bonus episode...
Before I have that, thank you.
Should we talk about your passionate topic then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I feel like you've chosen a beverage that very much like marries the two together.
For sure.
And because I didn't realise it's sort of part of your job outside of comedy as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about books?
Yeah.
Who's got them? Who reads them?
Yeah.
Where do they come from? What are they?
What are they even? It's like a really long tweet. It's like a dead tree. A dead tree that's doing drag.
It's a tree doing drag.
Yeah, it's like, do you know what I mean? this long, pretentious tattoo on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's books.
I'm just trying to think of a drag queen that's got like a tree or a book kind of.
Yeah. You could come up with. I'm sure there's like a.
Anita Woodsman.
That's that.
It's all right.
Yeah.
There's probably something better.
Something about.
Something about like, what do you get in a book? Tabitha Contents.
Oh. Okay. It was better than anything I could come up with, I have to say. But Tabitha
She's not winning Drag Race, is she?
You know, kind of the librarian, sexy librarian kind of vibe.
Tabitha, at the reading challenge, we wanted to close the book.
Tabitha Contents.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's really tickled me.
I don't think I'm gay anymore.
Yeah, it's possible.
Sorry.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
no,
no,
so
books.
books. So that's,
I've read a book.
You've read them?
I'll probably read one again at some point.
Yeah.
Have you always been a big book guy?
Well, it's weird. It's sort of become sort of something a bit more in my life. Like I've always enjoyed reading. I've always this been part of my life for a long time. My dad was an English teacher. My mum was a librarian. So it was just part of life.
Kind of in the family.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then I got a job I did loads of retail jobs throughout my entire 20s. And then towards the end of my 20s, I got a job in a bookshop. And then whilst I was out there, my manager quit during the pandemic and I trained up to do her job. And so then I just found myself in my 30s running a bookshop. And then that suddenly becomes the guy you are. You're like Ben who runs a bookshop. And people start seeing you as bookshop guy.
Bookshop.
So so then it is part of the identity all of a sudden. But I never thought, I'm not like, I'm so smart and I've read all these books. I'm more just like, oh, books
just
are great.
into books.
Yeah, everyone likes. I like to read. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a leisure thing, but it's also just a life thing.
How often are you reading a book? Like, how many books do you think you get through in a year?
My sort of general rule is if I can on average read a book a week, that's kind of
52 books.
Yeah, I normally it'll be we're closer to, because it's 4 a month, so then it would probably be more just 48. So it's not, I never quite.
Oh, then I'm not impressed.
But it's
48 books.
But then also you got to remember there's poetry in there, and there's novellas that are 150 pages long that you can just bash out.
So sometimes it's a light read.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not, this year I'm being a bit more I'm trying not to get too stuck on numbers, and I'm trying to just be just read things you want to read.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they're 600 pages long and it takes you 2 months. That's fine.
Okay.
So I'm currently I'm wading through Moby Dick, which is I think 600 or 700 pages long, which is
chunky book.
It's chunky and it's also great, but it is mental, and it's one of those ones where it's it was really needed an editor, and it was not really the period of time where anyone was editing anything.
Right.
So
you could just say what you wanted.
Exactly.
And you can't say anything these days.
Yeah, we've really done the podcast bingo today, haven't we?
So it's not every week you're reading War and Peace. Sometimes.
No. I read pretty much anything.
Instruction manual.
Instruction manual.
Yeah.
The back of a crisp packet. Classic.
I read that recently.
Oh, what do you think? Ending?
I wasn't expecting that much sodium.
Yeah, it's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah.
But I love the format. I'll read anything. I quite like. There was a real period I had last year. I said to read 5 sad girl novels in a row. I read a lot of I am a Gen Z millennial.
Is that what a sad girl novel is?
Yeah, the cover is a woman with her face in her hands, and it's kind of quite literary, but it's
because she's just had it.
She's just had it.
And it's
and it's all she's quite glamorous and she's on holiday, but all the men in her life are trash and her job's not going very well.
Would Bridget Jones be like a sad girl?
I think
Novel.
Bridget Jones would be like the OG,
The originator.
sad girl novel.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from that at the time was quite like misogynistically called like chick lit. And then over time.
Claire's giggling because he said clip.
Oh, okay. I didn't spot that. That is funny. That should have been the tagline.
Men rarely do.
Such a funny tone of voice to do that as well. Oh, I didn't spot that. Oh. What's that on there? Oh.
Has that always been there?
You got all sorts down here. Wow. Whoa. My goodness. My God. Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
This is good stuff, you know. This is good. More of this, I'd say.
My compliments to the chef.
Yeah. Not enough sodium. Yes, misogynistically called chick literature. That's what clit is short for, by the way.
Literature.
Yeah.
I did buy my friend a book once that was called Are You Sexually Cliterate?
Oh, that's nice.
And it was about like how to pleasure a woman.
Did they learn anything about? No. It's just
No, I don't.
Often
think
those
so.
people also can't read, so it's tough, you know.
I never thought to check. I suppose there's plenty of videos.
Yeah, there's enough. There's a lot of different. There's multimedia options. For that specific genre.
So sorry. So you're reading several sad girl novels.
Yeah.
In a row.
Yeah, and I like to, because also like I'm constantly reading in order to potentially sell stuff at the shop. So I'll read whatever. I'll read. Read a bit of sci-fi, and I'll read a bit of like non-fiction. I'll read a bit of like historical period novels,
right.
or like whatever. I kind of just sort of jackknife around a lot, just because it's nice. I just like reading. I like the process of doing it. I like that it's slow, and I like that you don't. It's not on a screen most of the time. I don't read it a Kindle or anything. So I like having it's my brain and one thing, and that's all that's going on,
and that's it.
Yeah,
and you can just zone in on the book.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah, I just sometimes, and this makes me sound a million years old, but I'm just like I can't. My brain cannot deal with receiving any more like information, like like a TikTok about a genocide, and then a pasta recipe, and then. Something about, and I'm just like, can we have one thing from start to finish, please?
Yes.
I just need, and so it's nice to have like.
And it's also just like you get with TikTok and endless scrolling, you're getting all of the information from everywhere in the world all at relatively the same amount of time.
Yes.
And it's too much for you to take on.
I can't process it all. So it's nice having one person be like, I'm sad. And I'm like, great.
Let's stay here for a bit.
Yeah, let's just
stay here for a couple chapters.
That's nice. It's slow.
Do you find that when you finish a book and then it's like, okay, time to get the next book going? Do you, because I did look it up. There's quite a few books.
There's a couple.
There's quite a few. Do you find the choice of book like overwhelming? Is it comparable to when you are looking at Netflix with a partner and neither of you can decide like, oh, we've not seen any of this, so that makes us not want to watch it as much because we're taking a risk? And like, is the choice overwhelming sometimes?
Yeah, very much so. I think it's like someone once explained to me that they were like, I find I can't walk past like a bookshop and bookshelves without feeling sad because I know I could never read all of them. So I'm going to die and all of them are going to remain unread. And I was like, you need to chill out.
That's extreme.
Yeah. Because like it's actually a nice thing that there's lots to choose from.
Yeah, of course.
And what I'm trying to do this year is instead of flitting about and just reading anything that anyone puts in front of me, I'm trying to actually just read the things that are in my house that I've accumulated. The kind of inevitable charity shop buys and presents from people and just really passionate about this and you just got all this stuff at home and it just piles up. So I was like, I'm actually gonna, and that's great because then the choice is just is between 10 things rather than 100.
Every version of this thing that ever existed.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with video games. I have a lot of games that I've accumulated that I just haven't played. And every now and again, I'll go like, I won't buy a new game. I'll play one of the games I already have.
And does it make you feel good? Or does it make you feel like, does it feel like a chore?
Depends on the game.
Yeah, okay.
Depends on the game. If it's like a cozy life sim kind of game where you like set up a little farm or something, then that becomes like how do I make this as productive a thing as possible?
Gotcha.
And then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like a game and not going anywhere. It's like, oh, sorry, David, I've got to go tend to my radishes in Stardew Valley or whatever. So it depends on the game.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you read a book and it's like, I could have done without reading that book.
I'm often quite. I've been in the past very worried about. I'm a perfectionist. I want to finish it. I want to get it done. I want to like chop it off the list. I feel like, I've sunk time into this now. But now, and I just did this recently actually with something I was reading, some Beryl Bainbridge, who is a writer from I think the 40s or 50s,
Okay.
maybe 60s, and quite kind of old school like story. And I was like, this is great. I'm going to read something from a while ago that's not new. I'm like doing some good. This is homework. I'm taking my job seriously.
Yeah,
and I'm going to
yeah.
read this thing. And I picked up in a charity shop and it looked interesting. And about 70 pages in, I was like, I am not enjoying this. And I'm just going to put it back in the charity shop. And
You took it back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, that's fine because I paid like £3 for it. That went to charity.
Now someone else can
Yeah.
be disappointed
As
that the charity benefits.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. that's a perfect thing.
It's
for the,
perfect cycle.
Just So I'm way more just like cut and run with these things now.
Yeah.
Do you can you do that with video games? Does it feel like frustrating?
I think some games are made to be super frustrating, so you have to play them over and over again. Like a Souls game, like Elden Ring or something,
Okay.
where it's so impossibly hard. You do the same. You play the same bit of the game over and over and over again,
Okay.
until you do it correctly. Then you
Sure.
can go on to the next bit, and then you flop at that bit, and then you have to do everything all over again.
Oh man.
So, and some people are really into that. Not in particular me. There are some games where, what's a game that I was like disappointed by? Mortal Kombat, the latest Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
I played all through the story, which took maybe like 6 hours, not long at all. And then played like online for a bit. And I was like, this is a bad game. And it actually was, because they found some pretty bad bugs with it. That meant that if you're on one side of the screen, because, like you have one player here, one player here.
Yeah.
If you're on this side of the screen, there's a bug that essentially means this person's already at a disadvantage because their moves won't hit properly or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Dara O'Brien once compared books to video games, and he was like, you can read a book all the way through and you get the story and you just read it at your own pace. If you play a video game that has some kind of narrative to it, like The Last of Us, then you get punished for not being able to get through a particular bit of the game by not getting the next bit of the story.
Yeah.
He's like, if you were to read like Pride and Prejudice, you don't read the first chapter and then the book snaps shut and then you have to pass a quiz in order to get to the next chapter. You just get to read on.
That's so true. And also, if you don't understand something in a book, you can just keep going and maybe it'll make sense later.
Yeah.
And like you can be like, or just, I never understood that bit and that's fine.
And that's fine.
Whereas,
it doesn't make sense even on like the second read through. Yeah.
And also, none of the characters have bugs, I guess.
None of the characters have bugs.
Unless you're reading Metamorphosis by Kafka. There's a nerd joke for anyone out there.
I feel like that would play very well in a room that is not me, Claire, and you.
No, it's okay. That's why I looked into the camera. I was like pretty certain this wasn't going to work with you guys, and that's fine. It's okay.
Somewhere they're live streaming this episode at KafkaCon.
Yeah. Oh,
and the room just erupted.
You know what the problem with CAFCON is? The bureaucracy. That's another one for the joke. Come on. Guys, this is good stuff. You'd never know. Oh.
I generally won't. And you know what? I won't ever find out.
You'll never know.
I don't plan to.
Well,
No.
What's annoying is that I also imagine that anyone watching that's a joke for about 7 people.
But if those 7 people get it, they'll be so happy they found a Kafka joke.
I'm wasted. Yeah.
Is that like in... I'm so sorry. Is this like in Bridget Jones? She has to do PR for a book launch.
Yes.
And the book is called something like... I think it's called Kafka's Motorcycle?
Yes, yeah. That's the same Kafka. Yeah. So it's a funny name for a book because Kafka is like famously the most pretentious... it's what people want when they want to be like pretentious. They mention Kafka. Because he's like a playwright who wrote all these things. Much of the stories about like it was like meant to be like a parody of I think of the Soviet Union. I think whereas like people go through like endless bureaucracy and they never get anywhere. So when people say something is Kafkaesque, they mean it's like, I was on the call to BT customer service and they put me through like 1 million levels and I never talked to anyone. It's fucking Kafkaesque, you know. But he also wrote a book about a guy who wakes up and who's got a cockroach and he's just turned into a cockroach for no reason, which is why I was talking about bugs. There's no bit of the comedy circuit that wants this stuff, and that's probably correct.
Abandon the cut show. Do just an hour of Kafka jokes. You'll find your crowd.
Maybe. Yeah.
We have to ask the obvious question. Favorite book?
Favorite book? It is the obvious question.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
No, it's favorite.
Favorite book.
Thank you.
See, this is what gets them going. Yeah. You just say stuff in a bit of a silly voice. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Oh, that's funny. Do I have a favorite book? Sorry, the book. Does it even matter at this point?
I don't think it does. No, we got to know. The people want to know.
The people want to. There's a really cracking novel called And Then We Came to the End by Joshua Ferris, who's an American writer. And it's about
huge fan of his wheel. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I started with Tabitha Contents and I just feel like I had to claw my way back.
Oh no, that's equally as good as Tabitha Contents, I think. Tabitha Contents. It's about like an American company that's like slowly, it's like an advertising company that's slowly going under, and it's about all the people within it and little vignettes about all of them, and one of them has like a breakdown, and one of them like starts having like an affair with, and it's just like really good, funny human drama about things completely falling to pieces, and it's excellent.
What time period is it set in?
Like the early 2000s, I think.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a very like...
Is it like each chapter is about a different person?
It's actually weirdly written in the first person plural. So it's all, we did this, we did that, we did the other. But then you sort of start to, little characters become clear within the we.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And yeah, it's just really, it's incredibly well written and bizarre and very funny. So I can recommend that.
Recommend that book. Recommend that book. It's been lovely talking about books.
Thanks.
But we're getting towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
If it's all right, we've got one more bit of the show, one more format point, and I'd just say I think we've done very well on remembering to do all of the format. Everybody, I know it's actually just my fault. Sometimes I just let people talk and then I forget that there are actual things to ask people.
There's an architecture to the show.
There is an architecture. We are going to do something called Quickfire Feelings.
Okay.
This is where I've got 5 random things, and I just want you to tell me how they make you feel.
Okay. I can do that.
And you can say as little or as much as you like.
All right.
Okay. The first thing, we do ask this to everybody. How do you feel about dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate. I like 2 to 3 squares of it and no more.
Okay.
My dad used to love it. He used to love like 97% like chocolate that like burns through the table. Like, and I found it like I could have 1 square of that. And then once I'd had the like facial reconstruction surgery, I could maybe have another, but I just can't. I'm like less is more with dark chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be, if you bought like a bar of dark Lindt,
It would last me maybe 2 to 3 years.
you wouldn't just sit and eat the whole bar.
No.
Fascinating.
No, because it's too strong, you know? Whereas like, I think milk chocolate, that's going down me. It's going down me.
It's going down you. Hey.
Next question.
How do you feel about wickets, parentheses, from cricket?
Quite stressed actually, because it really reminds me of having to play cricket when I was at school.
Oh, yeah.
And the feeling of they're so fragile and you are either in front of them about to be hit by the hardest ball in all of sport.
Oh, it's sturdy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
That thing's like made of diamonds. What are they doing?
You went to a good school.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. And then also if you're the guy behind who's got all the like stuff on and the gloves, and either way, it's like it's so fragile. It's like the whole thing is a horrible, stressful, tense environment.
Fair.
Don't like them.
Even with protective equipment as well.
Yeah, horrid, absolutely horrid. And you'd have to wear the box over your penis. Do you remember that? Do you ever do that?
When they brought out the cricket equipment, it did come with a cup.
Yeah.
But nobody would wear the cup because they wouldn't tell us like where the cup had been.
There was always like
you didn't
loose...
get your own cup. You got a loose cup.
Oh, horrid. And there was always these horror stories of people being like, mine one had a pube on it. And so just like no one would wear them, and then everyone would get hit in the balls by the diamond ball.
When I say we had cut, like there were 2
to share,
and you would just pass them around. Yeah.
Like trading places as you got out on batsmen, and
you'd high five,
pull it out,
swap cups,
and stick it down again.
Yes,
absolute nightmare. Cricket was what a stupid, horrid sport to play as a child. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry, carry on. So we got the feelings on that
you've
one.
Made your feelings clear.
Really angry about that.
How do you feel about a beer mat?
Oh, frustrating. Always in the way.
Do you think?
Like, I think if you're drinking beer, particularly in a pub, I'd say,
yes,
the furniture isn't going to get covered in beer. That's happening. Okay, beer makes people drunk. It makes their motor skills worse. They're going to drop.
They're going to
beer.
get a little splishy splashy.
You know, beer mats, whilst quite a fun piece of like merchandise, for instance, that's fun, but they don't really work. No one puts anything on them. If they do, the condensation sticks, and then you pick them up, and they come up with them.
I get that all the time.
You know, and then it might halfway to your mouth fall off.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, tell my wife I loved her. Like it falls down on the thing. And it's
talking beer mats.
That's they don't shut up as well. No, the beer mats is frustrating, annoyance.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, and I don't know if I've got the name right, but I know what I'm talking about, and that's all that matters. Rainbow drops. They were like the little sweets in a bag.
Yeah, this rings a bell. It sounds like something from Willy Wonka. They sort of sound like the sort of thing that were nice in theory, but I don't really know what they are.
Yeah, they're very colourful, but no, they were sort of like polystyrene.
No, I'm not. This is.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
It does sound like a name.
Yeah.
Rainbow drops and something.
Yes. Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. I didn't.
Okay. We'll come right. Answers on a postcard if you.
Yeah, no one knows what the hell that is.
And how do you feel about white tack? Not blue tack, white tack.
What a great question. Oh, something really sinister about it.
Do you think?
In the same way with white chocolate, where it was like, what was the problem with milk chocolate? What was it? What have you done here? Like blue tack works fine. White
Yeah.
tack still leaves a mark.
Yeah.
It looks like
There's no other
leftover-
benefits.
Yeah. So it's like, this is for people who are like, I would prefer it if it were white, which is never a good stance to be taking. Wow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean.
White tack is racist. That's my hot take.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that's the end of Quickfire Feelings,
Thank
and
you.
thus the end of the show. Have you had a nice time?
This has been an absolute blast.
Oh,
I have had a
good.
treat and a dream.
We love blasting.
We finally learned how to pronounce favorite book.
Favorite book. Before we let you go, anything that you'd like to plug for our listeners? Where can they find you? What are you doing?
You can find me if you hack into the GPS tracker I hide in my butt. No, I am available. I'm available. Okay, be serious, Ben. I am at the Edinburgh Fringe this year. I'm doing my show, The Cut, which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
For the whole month, apart from the 13th. So please come and see that. I'm also taking this show on tour after the Fringe. So it's going all around the UK, including to here in Edinburgh at the Monkey Barrel, where we're recording this right now, on the October the 19th. Other than that, you can find me online or on Instagram at Popes Benedict, which is like Eggs Benedict, but with Popes.
Yeah.
And the same on TikTok at Popes Benedict. And that's about it.
Very, very efficiently done.
Thank you. I've done it. Done it once before, I think.
Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I forget anything that I've ever been doing ever."
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I'm just really pro'd up this year.
Really pro'd up. We'll link to all of that stuff below if any of that appeals to you. It should do. I'm also doing a show at the Edinburgh Fringe this year. Sam Lake, you're joking, not another one. It will be here at Monkey Barrel every day at the Tron, except one of the days, I've forgotten the date. The Monday.
The Monday.
The one of the month. Not the Monday, not the Wednesday. Not the Monday will be the Wednesday.
We will be the Wednesday.
I will be doing it on that Wednesday.
Okay.
The Wednesday that you're not doing it, I will be.
I can come and see you.
And I'll go see you.
What time are you on?
1:35.
Oh, I can see you every day if I want to.
Well, what's stopping you? You can follow the podcast at I've Had a Rosé on all platforms, and we'll see you again for another episode next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.